who of course has been one of the key names that you talk about right in the national team figure. And now of course with me is Benson Pastore, as we shall be discussing a lot from all that. And Nachivubo Stadium, of course, under construction is almost complete and soon will of course be on the move. Now of course Ten Hag Eric takes a key decision to make sure that of course the team of Manchester United needs to reshape after of course Jadon Sancho has been tasked to apologize to the Manchester United, and if not, then he has been sidelined with of course off from the national team, from the main team, and he's training alone. So that's one big one. Benson, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Owen Zaga. Not forgetting about the viewers who are watching us live at this particular moment. A lot of stories are happening, like you have already given some of the highlights of the discussion, and the biggest of it is the players returning from the international break to their various clubs, and also the Star Times Uganda Premier League, the new season of Star Times Uganda Premier League getting underway with a lot of stories. He has already given some of the breaking stories, and Everton, of course, officially been sold, and also so many stories. Fixers are getting back, and a very big game tonight. Actually, it will be in German Bundesliga game between Bayer Leverkusen and the team that's Bayer Leverkusen up against the team Bayern Munich, and the San Siro derby is also coming on your way, as Inter Milan will be tussling it out with the team that's AC Milan. UEFA Champions League next week is also on the way. A lot of stories. Just keep it locked to Western TV as we break for you the content.
Now, of course, off from the international break, and clubs expected to put in really big in their debuts. Right, there are different clubs, of course, from that is the nation, and of course internationally. We'll be doing all that what needs to be done right there. But of course, starting with the top story coming up right here, the Star Times Uganda Premier League also commences today with a couple of games on card, with of course one of the West Nile side, that is Ruah Hill Sports Club, that will be also playing at Paridi Stadium. Now let's start with the big game that is right there, as NEC, the new team, has of course crossed over to, that is where they will be playing against Mbarara City. Remember, NEC Football Club going that side, their head coach, I'm talking about Hussein Balango, has gone back to his former club right there. What are we expecting out of this team? Because they have really reinforced come this season.
Yeah, I'm seeing, in fact, I'm expecting a tight, tense game between the two sides, having Newell been promoted into the Star Times Uganda Premier League, because they were promoted from the second tier of Ugandan football, and they are kickstarting the season between themselves. And the NEC FC going away to Kateka. We have ever been discussing, even you said Kateka, of course, has always been a very difficult hunting ground for the visiting teams, and NEC going away to Mbarara City. Of course, it's going to be a tight game, a tense game, but Mbarara City, we all know that they have ever been into the Star Times Uganda Premier League before they were relegated to the Star Times FUFA Big League. Hussein Balangwe been sitting at home welcoming the team that's NEC FC. Of course, it's going to be something very hard for NEC FC to go to Kateka and collect the 3 points. The best they may come with might be a draw. That's what I am looking at in the game.
A tough game, of course, rejuvenated, a reinforcement for the two sides. Remember, Sempiji was the man who took, of course, the team of Kacheka, of course, Mbarara, to the Star Times Uganda Premier League come this season. And, of course, that was after he replaced also the same Hussein Balango, who was, of course, the coach by then, but of course now the head coach of NEC Football Club, alongside Dudu Bosco, who was with the Calvary Football Club. Couple of names are, of course, reinforced in the team. Names like Alan, of course, who have been into this. Alan Boston, he was with, of course, Alan Boston Mugalu. He was with Ruah Hill Sports Club. I talk about the names like, of course, Rashid Okocha, who have already crossed over to, that is the team of NEC Football Club, and more names that have of course come into the team. Now you look at the strength of the team and expecting what exactly will be coming out of Mbarara. Yes, very many names that you could expect from Mbarara. First of all, they haven't released a lot of their players who took them to the Star Times Uganda Premier League last season, and they have added in more names that probably have added of course to the move in right there. So it gives you what exactly, as a player, as a coach, what you need to do. But of course, always the start is a tough one. The new sides, new entrants. Of course, Mbarara has ever been into the Star Times Uganda Premier League, and they know what exactly it is, how the tense, how the pressure will always be like. But this time round they are all new entrants into the league, because both of them came from the Star Times FUFA from the big league. Both of them know their worth into that is the big league, because when they played home, you did see them also beating, of course, Mbarara, and then Mbarara beat them in Kacheka. So Kacheka Stadium is going to be a very, very big one. It's always a thorn in the flesh when any team that goes there finds a move to Kacheka. Worstly, when it rains, you will always barely find to win from that is Kacheka Stadium. And if all goes on well, the fan base is one side. So, of course, Honorable Mpaka's side, I'm talking about the team, Mbarara City has a lot. Of course, the odds are through, that is them. But, of course, you would see that according to, because they were quiet, Mbarara themselves, but according to, that is the team of... NEC, they were doing a lot of summer transfer, and adding in more names. That gives you a question, and of course say that if you look at it on paper, you may think it is going to be NEC's affair to take on this, but of course maybe Mbarara did a silent underground recruitment that we haven't seen. So we shall be expecting that, to see that this game of course comes right today. So it's a very, very tough experience to say. If you look at another game that will be coming, by the way, today, there's that game which was supposed to start at 2 p.m. Busoga will come, of course, coming to, that is to play against Ruah Hill Sports Club. That was another big game that you would be expecting in right there. But all in all, according to reports coming in here, the game that was supposed to start at 2 p.m. at that is Paridi Stadium has been shifted to 4 p.m. and that is the game now. At Ruah Hill Sports Club return in action. This time around not from Arua, but at Paridi Stadium, still in West Nile. What do you expect?
Still in West Nile, but not the ground. They have been hosting their games, because these games have been moved away from Barifa Stadium to Paridi Stadium, and I'm expecting a lot of challenges for the team of Ruah Hill Sports Club. First of all, the turn-up of the fans may not be compared to how the fans turn up for the games they played at home last season, because the fans are used to that in Barifa Stadium.
How are you going to say they are going to record a low turn-up compared to Arua's Barifa?
Yeah, that's what I am anticipating, because fans are already aware of Barifa and the Ruah Hill Sports Club, though we always said that this is a West Nile-based club. They are based in Arua City, and they are having so many, I should say, they are having numerous number of fans that are based within Arua City. And for the fans that are based in maybe in Vora, you talk about Arua City, you talk about fans from Maratsa, not forgetting about those ones from Koboko, Teregu. You look at the distance from here up to Dasi Ajumani, it is going to cost a lot. And after the game and also coming back, it's going to cost a lot. Maybe the fans that may turn up in numbers might be the fans within Greater Madi region, fans within Moyo Ezi Ajumani, but take a look at the number of the fans, the lion's share of the fans of Ruah Hill Sports Club. I think they are having so many fans within Arua City and districts that are neighboring Arua City. That is the first thing I am looking at. The turn-up of the fans may not be massive compared to the number of fans who turned up for their home games while the games were still taking place at Barifa, and also how how prepared the whole team is to play the game in the pitch. We all know that, which I don't want to repeat again, they have lost a number of iconic figures, players, right from the goalkeeping department, defense line, midfield up to the attacking force, and how prepared, how many players have they signed as replacements for already ongoing players. This is also another aspect I am looking at. But since they are the home side still, we said they are the home side because Paridi is still the home that has been granted for Ruah Hill Sports Club, and still in West Nile region, they are sitting at home. We saw Busoga struggling a lot last season. They might be in position to pick the 3 points against Busoga. But since this is yet the starting point, we cannot judge every team at the moment, because right now, we have not valued the strength of every team, not only in Uganda and in the whole world. When a league starts new like this, any team can be in position to pick any result against any team, whether it be an average team, whether it be a newly promoted team, whether it be a team that has overstayed in the league. But Ruah Hill being the home side, though at Ajumani, I am expecting the worst for them might be a draw, but they have an upper hand to win this game against Busoga.
Now, of course, a very big one. I want to disagree with Benson about the turn-up. I think Arua's turn-up will even be more lower than the Madi sub-region. I want to say the Madi love football by, of course, the verge that it is loved. they are also going to get a lot of money from the Mali sub-region, according to me, because there's nobody that they are competing with that side. Two, Jumani had only, of course, the team called Juman Town Council, which, of course, was relegated to, that is the regional league, and now once again they will be there. So that means the only club that Madi sub-region needs to associate right now with is Arua Hill Sports Club. I saw them selling their replicas with due respect. Very many trying to turn up to see that they buy these replicas because in Arua it has failed. They have a lot of stock in, that is the dress, of course, at the camp. So they needed to offload this out, and that is exactly what Arua Hill Sports Club is pushing onto. So I want to say the fan base is going to be there. Two, they will get enough money because now you have some key players of theirs like the Gaddafi Wahabus who are in that team who come from that side. So you will see that people will love to identify with them because they have certain characters from the Madi sub-region who will be in this. So I think for me, they will make money more than here because here was more competitive. Then you will even see that the fans of other clubs will not want to go and others will go. So that is one thing I want to say.
Actually, the reason as to why I have to say they will be expecting a slim number of fans, because this is a club that is based in Arua City, and you look at the number of fans of Arua Hill Sports Club that are based within Arua City and within the neighboring districts. And also I looked at the aspect of the cost for the fans going, maybe fans within Arua City and the districts neighboring Arua City, for them to go up to Ajuman Town, Ajumani district. Do you think a person, maybe that person should be having much love for Arua Hill Sports Club? Otherwise, to and fro is going to cost a lot. That's why I'm saying for the number of fans might be slim compared to if the games are to take place at Barfa. But for the fans of Arua Hill Sports Club, for the fans of West Nile based club that are based within Moyo, maybe within Ajumani, they may turn up the turn up might be very many. But the fans of Arua Hill Sports Club as at large, the fans that support West Nile based clubs, they may not be in person to travel in numbers, more especially as I said, those ones who are staying in Arua and the neighboring districts surrounding Arua district, Arua City.
Let's wait and see what exactly that will be, but of course it's going to be of course one of the evidences to come and witness that in the game. That will be right today at that is Paridi Stadium, but of course a lot is being expected. I remember the team has been doing their trainings at that is in Kampala. Of course the team is fully under or in the hands of Charles Livingston Babazi, who has of course taken full charge of the team, and of course they have gotten to see that this team needs to progress. It's the only team in the Star Times Uganda Premier League in the West Nile or the Greater Northern region, and that means that they really need to do a lot, and more so the West Nile team or West Nile fans needs to rally behind them, because it's the only team that is into the Star Times Uganda Premier League camp this very season. So it's a very big one, and that is coming right there. But of course elsewhere you have Bright Star that will be taking on Bull Football Club in this very game. Bright Star just unveiled a brand new Soltilo Bright Star bus that is going to be traveling or taking them throughout right there. The season starts in a good note for them, but Bull have also reinforced in right there. What are we expecting?
Yeah, exactly. That is the point. The two sides, they have actually been performing very well. Looking at the recent concluded tournament, that's the Super 8 tournament. Actually, the both sides to me, they performed tremendously. Bull being the champions, and also Bright Stars going very far and knocking out some of the big teams we have in the country. But Bright Stars being the home side and Bull FC, I know most of the people they may rally behind the Bull FC because they have been the champions. They have also prepared a lot, but Bright Stars being the home side, to me I am smelling something that might not be good for Bull FC. If I may still flash back and bring the highlights of last season, Bull actually the second phase of last season they never won any game, and the history being created in the history already been created in the history of Ugandan football. Bull this time they may not want to go back to how things transpired in the second phase of the season, but Bright Stars up against Bull FC. Bull FC knows that they are still fresh from winning the FIFA Super 8 gong, and at the same time they have prepared a lot, and under the stewardship of a new coach, that's Abeti Komeko, they may not want to start the season with a lose. But going to Bright Stars, they may play a draw, but they have an upper chance of winning the game.
It's a ginger derby, of course. We should say it's something that is going to be a tough one, right there. And of course, yes, that's like you said, Abeti Komeko would not want to lose any game right now. But all in all, with this, you would say that the team or the two sides have a point to prove to the world. And then, of course, being a derby, it will have a lot of tension into this game. But of course, the best team will have to win it all right there. Okay. That's one big one that will be coming, and then of course you have also another one where of course the Wachiso Giants and Maroons Football Club still will be tussling it out yet again. Wachiso of course did receive a boost by renewing their contract with that is 1xBet yet again into the team, and Maroons Football Club also adding in more names into their squad come 2023-2024 season.
Maroons up against Wakiso Giants, to me, I'm looking at the game as a 50-50 scenario between the two sides. These are sides, to me, they have been all that quiet in bringing new faces, but they have lost a lot of their key players. You look at the goalkeeper of Maroons, whom they have already lost. That's a Tamale, though they have brought in so many good faces, but we cannot say that this guy is going to, more especially in goalkeeping department, the newly brought guy will perform the same way how Simon Tamale performed. We are yet to judge him, and that judgment will come at the start of the season. And the same thing also goes to Wakiso Giants. Just like Maroons, they have also lost a couple of iconic figures. The one example I can give is all about Moses Aliro, who has crossed to the other side of URA, and we saw two great players of Wakiso Giants also leaving the country to go that side of USA. To me, I am looking at a 50-50 game, but in Maroons, to me, they may win the game up against Wakiso Giants. Just because Wakiso Giants, as I talk right now, to me, I don't think there is any iconic figure who can be in position to change the things at the end. They pick the 3 points for the team. That's Wakiso Giants.
It's going to be a Sunday where we shall be seeing all that come out. And also on 17th still we shall see a Rock Hill play. Of course, the Busoga United. We also have UPDF that will be taking on URA. UPDF have also added in there, and then Gaddafi will also take on Viper Sports Club the same Sunday, as of course KCC Express is said to have been postponed. So we shall be waiting to see how exactly that will be. But today's games on card: Villa Chitara, Marara City Neck, and Bright Stars Bull. 3 games on card for you to watch right there, and that's one big thing that you will always want to hear from us to you right there, unless you have any other thing before we cross away from the Uganda Premier League.
To me, the biggest game is actually that one between Chitara and the Sports Club Villa, though the other derby between Bright Stars and the Bull seems to be the biggest of it because of the derby attachment of it, but Chitara up against Sports Club Villa to me will be the biggest of the game today, because Chitara being a newly promoted side, they will actually want to start the season with a win, and given the fact that they are actually playing I should say the biggest club we have in the country because of the number of titles they have already won. Sports Club Villa, they have also prepared a lot. They will not want to start the season with either a defeat or a draw. At the same time, Chitara, with a lot of the investment they have had, signings they have had, so they will also want to prove to the world that they are a very strong side. This is actually the biggest game I am looking at today, and I am smelling something like a draw. I am expecting a draw in this game between Chitara and Sports Club Villa.
All right, now this is one big one, but of course if you look at elsewhere, you would see that team Molindwa, team St. Mary's Chitende, team Vipers have also come up releasing 3 more names of the foreign players according to reports they posted on that is their social handles right there. And of course 3 names mean big, of course, to a club like Viper Sports Club. Remember, these were players that they of course yes, these are players that they signed and looked into that this is there. Remember, it started with all the way back when the coach was said to have left the club. Now, of course, more other names are coming in right there who could also be leaving the club right there. Vipers did confirm this to, that is their official, or on their official, of course, platform, saying, of course, the players have left the club right there. And these players include, of course, Desire Teti, if you remember him very well. Then there's Luis Otavio, of course, and not forgetting the man Goncalo Rodriguez, who, remember, resigned on his status, saying that he has gone. That is after a lot of things have happened. Yes, 3 names of foreign players.
Vipers, I did say, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the main reason as to why we saw Vipers going for foreign-based players was to see that they raise their flag when it comes to continental football. That's the CAF Champions League. Now that they have been knocked out in the competition and in the preliminary stages, they now know that. But for the local-based players that are within the country, and players that have come from the other parts of the country but within the continent of Africa, Vipers, when it comes to the domestic league of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, then at the same time winning the Stanbic Uganda Cup, the local-based players, they have always been doing that one, and they are trying to clean the room for the new season, which is kickstarting today. And to me, the decision taken by Moses Mulindwa to see that he actually part ways with these foreign-based players, I don't see it as a bad one, because you brought the guys. I know the main objective of bringing these players to see, as I said, how they can be in position to compete in the Continental Football CAF Champions League. Now they have already been knocked out. The local-based players, as I said, they have ever been doing it brilliantly to see that Vipers wins the domestic cups. I know Mulindwa knows that actually if he retains those players actually they are going to add the burden for nothing, because local based players, they are capable of winning the league, and at the same time they're capable of winning the Stanbic Uganda Cup. I don't see it as a bad one. If they were still to be in the CAF Champions League, I was going to say, you know, they have done a very wrong decision, just because the foreign-based players, we are going to add the experience and combine with the local-based players and lift the flag of those Vipers. But now they are out. I don't think it's a nasty decision taken by the president to see that actually he releases these players.
Don't you think that's an expense that in the team? Of course, anything you do, you're going to pay these players if you terminated the contracts and this and that.
Money is not a problem for Vipers. You terminate their contract, you give their money, and they leave. And then you settle the rest of the things with the local-based players.
All right, let's wait and see what exactly will be coming out. But of course, it's one of the biggest things that is happening at the camp of Viper Sports Club, as of course they have 3 names of foreign players who have gone right there. Maybe would they say that the coaches will not be able to, they are not able to work with this player? That's one big thing. I want us to talk in lengthy about this new try, and of course a very big story that came out yesterday after the Federation of Uganda Football Association parted ways with Cedrovic Micho Martin, who has been one of the key names into Uganda's books after quite a long time. This was his second time coming back into, that is, the national team of Uganda Football Association. Now, of course, this was after the Federation of Uganda Football Association appointed him as the new head coach of, that is, Uganda Cranes. But again, it is the same federation that has taken a decision to put axe in his neck to say that, of course, part ways mutually, according to reports right there. What do you say about him leaving?
Micho coming for his second spell in Uganda. First of all, what has he done for Uganda Cranes? Me, I should say nothing. It was only in his first spell when he guided Uganda to the AFCON after so many years breaking that jing. It was in 2017. After that, going to Orlando Pirates, going to the other countries and coming back to Uganda, he has ever been trying. He has ever been going close, but reaching up to the building is something which has been so difficult for the coach Micho. To me, I see it as a good decision. I expected him to be sacked earlier than being yesterday, because you look at the performance of this coach for Uganda Cranes of late, leaving aside what he achieved with Uganda, what he achieved with Uganda in his first spell. Uganda, as I said, he has been trying. Uganda has been going close, but making it for Uganda to pass the group, it has been something very difficult. And also, trust me, in the tournaments, Uganda Cranes, they have been playing, and once they're in a group, people always look at them as an underdog. You look at the recent concluded tournament, the AFCON qualifiers, they were actually the underdog alongside countries like Niger. And we expected the Uganda Cranes to have surpassed that Tanzania and join Algeria. What they do, even Algeria side, Tanzania played a draw with Uganda, failed to beat them, and also a very big tournament is coming ahead of Uganda Cranes. Maybe the football organization, the football body of Uganda is preparing ahead of the biggest of it, that's World Cup qualifiers. And if you take a look at our group, we're also in a dangerous group. That's why I say Uganda is always looked at as an underdog whenever a group is come up with Algeria, a side you fail to beat, is also in the group. You have got a certain Mozambique, even a certain Burkina Faso is also lying ahead of you, and you have got a certain Mitchell who has failed to guide you to the AFCON, and the biggest of it is coming. And leaving aside the AFCON and also the World Cup qualifiers that is coming, what has he done? To me, it's a good decision being taken by the football body of Uganda to see that they actually part ways with Mitchell and they should go for another coach. Now the question is, who is that coach who can come to the camp of Uganda Cranes and change things immediately? Because we are only a month away for the kickstart of the qualifiers of World Cup. They also need to be tactical in selecting that particular coach who can be able to change things at the camp of Uganda Cranes. To me, I don't see it as a bad decision. I see it as a good decision because we have forgotten about AFCON qualifiers. The next thing for us is World Cup qualifiers. Even if we don't qualify, but we need to portray a very good game up against the countries we have been grouped with.
My question is, who next? Now, is this the right time we trust in our local coaches?
I should say yes. Ask me why. First of all, you see, it's a very rare case for the high-profile foreign coaches to come and work in Africa, in these African countries. Coaches, foreign coaches, I should say European coaches. These coaches, you look at the coaches that are working within the continent of Africa. They are not high-profile coaches. And if we are to say that we should go for another foreign coach, is there a coach whom we can bring and can be able to change things? That is the first thing I am looking at. The second thing is we have also had the financial challenges in paying these players, not players rather, paying these coaches. If we go for a foreign coach, can we be in position to pay the areas of the salary or as the salaries of wages of these coaches? To me, I will say, yeah, it's the right time for us to go for our local-based coaches. And who is that particular coach we can go for? I'd been dreaming of two coaches. First is Matthias Lule. This guy who went to Tanzania. I'm thinking about Matthias Lule. The other coach I actually had been dreaming about is actually Mike Hilary Mutebi. Not forgetting about this guy who has recently been appointed as the assistant head coach of Sea Cranes. I'm thinking about Abdallah Mubiru. You talk about Matthias Lule. Not forgetting about Mike Hilary Mutebi. To me, I think these three coaches, they can be able to fill the gap.
Mitchell has been fired, of course, after he had 1 year, of course, still to be run on his contract because he had signed 3 years with the Uganda Football Federation, and he has 1 more year left on his contract. Now he has been fired. That is after he had gotten that, of course, win 2-0, comfortable win against Niger. But of course, Niger couldn't make them proceed to the next level because, of course, Tanzania had to prove it and become as the runners-up after a long time. Algeria being the top, and that is how exactly it is. So Uganda took this decision after they have failed to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, of course, the Africa Cup of Nations will be in, that is Cote d'Ivoire in 2023, as of course teams like Cote d'Ivoire, teams like, of course, Mali, teams like Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, teams like Guinea-Bissau, teams like Mauritania and Ghana, the Gambia, Mali, Nigeria, Senegal, all will be right there. And in the South African, you will be seeing Angola, you will be seeing teams like Zambia, South Africa, you have Mozambique and Namibia. In North Africa, you will be seeing teams like Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia and Algeria. Now, of course, in Guinea, you have, of course, teams like Guinea and Cameroon, and then DR Congo. That is in the Central Africa. East Africa is miserably represented by, that is Tanzania alone. So that means that you will be having challenges to see which team, of course, will will be going off right there. So that's how exactly it is for that is Mitchell's all way through off. That is Uganda Cranes national team, of course, India. Looking ahead, that means Uganda Cranes will focus now to shift the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. That's the biggest identity they will have to look into. And just like I said, who will be that coach to come in there? Yes, Michael Mutebi has been so much reserved for the national team. He said his words, I remember. Mubiru, currently as I talk, has been appointed as the head coach of the She Cranes, of the Crested Cranes. Yes, he has been also assistant to that is Mitchell in the national team. He knows the players, but right now he is right there. So Uganda finds it so difficult to be in. Of course, they are in Group G alongside the teams such as Algeria, Guinea, Mozambique, Botswana, and Somalia. That is for the World Cup qualifiers, and you will be expecting a lot for this to happen, and a coach that really will take it a lot of time to see that assembles the team. Yes, Uganda has the players, but of course, what exactly are you coming to add into the team? So that's one thing. You've talked about Lule, but of course, we're yet to see, because the disappointment performance of Uganda team in that is the Africa Cup of Nations, Africa Championship was worse. I'm talking about the Chan alone was a problem. So it shows you what exactly that was. Of course, they gave him a chance. Before we get off, it's just off script. Nachi Vubo today has been, of course, officially put in, that is on air after a long awaited time for their, of course, renovation. Now, Nachi Vubo Stadium is now a moment, and they will be celebrating about the ground in there. Are we expecting the 2027, is it 17? 2017 World, Africa Cup of Nations come to Uganda?
Nativubo,
or the East African side?
First of all, opening of Nativu is a good news to all the football fans in the country, but the stadium alone cannot be able to, I should say that one can, the one stadium cannot make I should say the organization of African football to grant us a permission for Uganda.
Of course, Uganda needs 2 grounds and 4 training pitches. So if Nachivu is up, you have Nambol is also under construction. By 2017, you have already a ready ground to go on to. So I think, to me, then you need 4 more pitches as training grounds. Yeah. And then Tanzania, if they can work on that. Kenya, because it was, of course, a joint bid. Of course, the joint bid, the Pamoja bid that they submitted.
Yeah, we still have got a long way to work on all these things. Not all about having the stadiums, having the training grounds, and also the other facilities, the hotels,
Uganda
plus the rest of the things.
That is required, I think.
Are they of a standard that is required by CAF? We also look at these things.
Of course, the inspectors, when they came, they wanted just to see possibly, like now, if you go to a hotel like Serena or Sheraton, that was the standard they wanted. And if you have 2, 3 of that, you were able to, that means accommodate.
If Nativubo is ready and they're working on an Nambola, which are the 2 stadiums? Are they going to ask Vipers? Are they going to complete that one over Roy Hill? Uganda still has got a long way to see that the actual host these continental games. To me, I don't think that one will work, and the CAF will be in position to grant for them the permission.
2017, they have the Bidiba project which is going. They have in Lida, Akiwa Stadium, I think, was one of the names that was to work on. So if you look at that in 2027, 2017, we're in 2027. If only the money is there, then you could be seeing these projects work out.
Akibwa, I doubt.
What does it take? Nachivu took only the money being there and putting it in place. Yeah. So for Akibwa, it will only need also,
like you said, it's all about investing. If the money is there, they can even work on these things. Just within a year, you will see that they are using them. But if they're also going to be things, money that have been drafted for sports, it takes across, because we have in different sporting activities. For football, it is allocated there, but for them to work on these stadiums, it's going to cost a lot. But as I said, if the money is real there and it is enough, within even 1 year or 2 years, you will see the stadiums ready. But if they are not going to be technical enough in spending or in investing, that is when we will see it delaying.
All right, we're going to be taking a break. We come back with Abdallah Mubiru Saga, whether it's a